Hey guys, I got a new video for you today, and we're going to be looking at a new flashlight from Wowtac. This is the A3 model. Now I was pretty impressed by the performance of this little guy here. It has a couple features that I really enjoyed using. I've been carrying it off and on as part of my EDC for a couple weeks now. They were gracious enough to send it out so I can check it out and then show it to you guys. As always, it does come in this standard kind of cardboard box here, and this is the A3 model in the cool white color. So as you open it up, right on top you have your user manual, and I always recommend kind of checking it out so you can get familiarized with the runtime and output of your flashlight and kind of how to access the different modes and stuff like that. So we'll set that off to the side, and then right underneath here you have the flashlight and then a couple of accessories. First one that kind of flew out here is a little bag here with some spare O-rings. And then because this flashlight does have a rechargeable 18650 battery, they include the USB cable to be able to recharge that battery. I like these kind of shorter cables because they don't take up a lot of room, especially if you're throwing them in a bag or something like that. And because of the way that Wowtac does their rechargeable batteries, this is long enough as far as the length goes on what you would need to be able to charge them up. So we'll set that off to the side, and then we'll take a look at the flashlight itself. Now at first glance, I can tell you that this flashlight is a lot smaller than I expected it to be, but I did enjoy carrying it around. It was the perfect size for what I needed as far as EDC purposes and things like that. This is what you would call more of a barrel style flashlight, but it does have a wider head right in the front here, and that's because of one of the features that it uses, where you can actually manipulate the light as far as if it's coming out flood or more of a spotlight. And that is really cool because it definitely gives you more versatility to your flashlight. So as far as the construction goes, it is aircraft grade aluminum and it is anodized in black. Very sturdy obviously, but it's nice and lightweight. You do have some really functional knurling on the tail cap right here and then on the body, so it allows you to grip the flashlight very sturdy. And you also have a pocket clip here which is removable, but I like how high it rides because it allows for the majority of the body of the flashlight to be inside of your pocket, or if you have it in a bag or something like that, so there's not a lot of it that's going to be sticking out. Now you do have a side switch here, which is going to be used for pretty much everything from turning the flashlight on and off to switching through the modes and things like that. And then in the back right here in the tail cap, this is one of the things that I had to get used to because of the way that it looks and it feels. It almost feels like it should have a tail cap switch, but it's actually just this kind of hole right there. So at first I found myself kind of pulling it out and going like this to turn it on, and then I had to remember, oh yeah, that's right, it's a side switch. So again, just a little bit of a learning curve with that goes, but because it is nice and flat, it tail stands very well. So if you have to use it in that form factor, you can go ahead and do that. As I mentioned, the pocket clip is removable. Now this is running off of one 18650 rechargeable battery, and I'll go ahead and show it to you guys here. It is included with the flashlight, which is really nice. And I like how Wowtac has been able to offer all these flashlights with the batteries and the charging cables and everything at a really comfortable price. This guy right here is actually $19.99, so for $20 you're getting a really awesome packaging, and it does include the battery and the charger and stuff like that. So again, this is a USB rechargeable battery, and when I mentioned that I like the fact that how they do their rechargeable batteries is the battery itself is actually where you would connect your charging cable to. So the micro USB here actually goes connected right to the battery, so right at the top there, and then this will get connected to either a laptop or a charging brick or an external battery bank or something like that. So in essence, if you have two of these batteries, you can actually be charging one of the batteries while you have the other one, the fresh battery, inside of the flashlight, so you're never left without your flashlight. So I think that's a really, really awesome thing to do. So again, if you're looking at picking up one of these, maybe you can pick up an extra rechargeable battery, so you can do that, so that way you're not left without your flashlight. So we'll put that right back in there. And then we'll take a look at some of the rest of the flashlight. So you have your switch right there, which again is going to turn the flashlight on and off, and it'll select through the different modes. Now there is no momentary on or anything like that, which is, you know, one of the drawbacks. I do like that in my EDC flashlights just because sometimes I just kind of need quick light or whatnot, so you'll always have to turn the flashlight on or off to be able to use it. But again, you know, it's just depending on your usage. Now as you guys can tell right here, your the glass on here is actually domed because it does give you that ability to go from floodlight to spotlight So you have to have that dome on the flashlight to be able to do that. And then you have the cranulation on the bezel right in the front right there. So I wanted to kind of run through a couple of the modes just so you guys can see how they work. And then afterwards, I'll take the flashlight outside and I'll give you more of a real world look at it. So let me turn off this overhead light and we'll cycle through some of the modes. So to turn the flashlight on, just press the button and then your light is going to come on right there. And I'm not sure what I was using it at because this flashlight does have a memory, so it will come on at the last mode that you left it on. So let's see, I'll long press it. Okay. All right, so there it is. So this is the low mode, and low is actually going to be 16 lumens, and it's going to be good for 2 to 3 days. So again, this is perfect for any quick EDC task that you might need, just kind of looking around for keys on the floor or something like that. But if you need it more light, then all you have to do is go ahead and long press that button, and that'll ramp it up to medium. And that's 65 lumens. And that's good for 20 hours. Again, a little bit more light, so depending on what it is that you need. Now, in order to go through the different modes, it's actually going to cycle through low, medium, high. So right now when I press it, it's going to go back down to low, then medium, and then back up to high. So we'll look at that. So I'll long press it. So low, medium, high. So high is going to be 220 lumens, and that's going to be good for 5 hours. Again, that is a lot of light coming out of this little flashlight, and it's going to run you for quite a bit of time. So 5 hours at 220 lumens. And then basically from any mode that you have the flashlight on, you can double click the side switch to go up to turbo. So I'll double click it. And then now this is turbo, which is 600 lumens, and it's good for 3 hours. So again, a lot of light out of this little flashlight running on that one 18650 rechargeable battery. And then from there, if you were to double click it again, you'll actually get a turbo mode, and that is 600 lumens for 3.5 hours. And then I'll take it and I'll turn it off just so it doesn't bother anybody's eyes. So those are the different regular modes. So low, medium, high, turbo, and then strobe. But it also has a reading mode, and that is from the off position. If you were to long press the flashlight, or I'm sorry, if you were to long press the button, it'll actually come on, and that's going to come on at 10 lumens. And that's going to be good for 3 days. So again, this is 6 lumens lower than the low mode. So again, instead of 16 lumens, you're going to have 10 lumens, and that's going to be good for 3 days. So this is if you want to have battery, or if you want to prolong the battery life, but still have, decent lighting or anything like that, you can go ahead and just use that reading mode and prolong the life of that battery. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and turn it on now. So this, the last mode that I was using on this was high. So again, this is high for 220 lumens. And now you can go from the nice and wide floodlight that you have here, and just by sliding the head out, so away from the flashlight, what you'll actually do is you'll turn it into more of a spotlight. So as you can see, this is a tighter, kind of smaller spotlight. So this is perfect if you want to pinpoint on something that you're looking far away or something like that. You don't want to light up a wide area, you can go ahead and do that. But if you wanted to go back to a wider kind of floodlight, all you have to do is slide it right back. So again, you're pushing it back towards the light, and now you have more of a flood. Now what I found is that with certain lights that have that capability, you generally have to twist it, or it's very difficult. You actually have to use 2 hands to be able to do that. With the A3 here, it is very easy to do one-handed because of the fact that this this lip kind of overpasses this portion right here. So all you do is turn it on, and then using your thumb, you can actually slide it forward if you want to do the spotlight, and then you can use your thumb again to slide it back if you want to go right back to flood. And that's what I found myself doing when I use this and I have to go from one of the, from flood to spot and stuff like that. It's just very easy to do that. Just slide it with your thumb and then slide it back. And that way you get the different outputs there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the flashlight outside and give you a little bit more of a real world look at what the different modes and how the floodlight and the spotlight work. Alright guys, so I'm out here at a park by the house, and I just wanted to show you guys what the A3 can do, just pretty much walking around. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and turn it on. Again, this is coming on at the last mode that I left it on, which was high, and it is now in the flood. So it's doing a pretty good job at kind of giving you a wide area as far as light goes. But if I just slide that head forward, it brings it right down into that spotlight. So again, you can point that light out further, and it's easier to see certain things further out in the distance. What I'm going to do is slide it back, and let me switch it on over to the turbo mode. Again, a lot brighter there, as you guys can tell. As I'm walking around, I'm able to see the whole path, and you know, the cars in the distance there, but for the most part, you know, I can see where I'm going, I can see what's coming up. But if I hear something in the distance, I can just slide that out. As you guys can tell there, the beam does get a little tighter, and I'm able to throw that light a little bit further out there, and I can keep going and going and going until you get a really tight spotlight there. See what's going on in the distance there. Let's see if the camera can catch up there. All right, there you go, there's a tree right there. And then as I keep getting closer, I can just slide it right back and give you that wider kind of floodlight to be able to see everything in a wider area. What I'll do now is I'll engage the strobe mode. So double click, and there is the strobe. Again, I can still go ahead and slide that forward so I can get more of a spotlight strobe if I needed to, and then slide it right back, and then back to flood there. So again, this is a very versatile flashlight. It gives you the ability to be able to manipulate that light to basically what it is that you need. So let's see right here, there's some water fountains. I can go ahead and get real tight on that water fountain there, the playground in the background. And then if I needed to see a wider area, just slide it right back, and now I can see everything. So it does give you varying levels depending on how far forward or backwards you slide the head of the flashlight. So you can tighten or widen out on the area. All right guys, just another quick look. I have this tree right in front of me. It's about 15 feet away. And then this is using the high output. Again, if I go ahead and double click, that'll get me to the turbo 600 lumens. And if I push in on that head, I can just reach out right there, so you can see the bench right next to that tree there. So this is perfect, so you can go ahead and pinpoint on certain things that are going on a little bit further in the distance. That is about 25 or 30 feet away. So again, it's not a long thrower, but it definitely gives you the ability to be able to see something a little bit tighter. And then if you need more light up close, you can go ahead and push it back, and you're able to see a wider area there. I'll pan around this way. So again, this is a very versatile flashlight for the majority of EDC tasks. You got a nice range from that really, really low reading light of 10 lumens, good for 3 days, all the way up to 600 lumens, good for 3 hours with that rechargeable 18650 battery. So there it is. This is the A3 from Wowtac. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.